Number 8's a little more involved. We're solving for x and y in this case. The only real way of doing it is through substitution. Elimination would prove very difficult. But again, you can use page 12, number 8 as an example from your notes. So what I'm going to start off doing is I want to solve for x so that I can take what x equals and throw it in for x squared. So when I move the 2y to the other side, I get x equals 12 minus 2y. So I'm going to take that 12 minus 2y and plug it in for x. Okay? So let's write out our equation. So I've got 12 minus 2y squared minus y squared equals negative 36. Now, my class, I always tell you when you're squaring a binomial, remember we start off by straight up writing it out twice. Otherwise, we risk losing that middle term. Minus y squared. Apparently, my son is upset about something. But there we go. Alright, and we'll just multiply all this out. Remember, we're just going to distribute the 12, and then we'll go back and distribute the negative 2y. So, 12 times 12 is 144. 12 times negative 2y is negative 24y. Negative 2 times 12 is, again, negative 24y. And negative 2y times negative 2y is positive 4y squared. And then we'll drag everything else down. The negative y squared and the negative 36. From here we're just collecting terms. We've got a positive 4y squared and a negative y squared, so that's 3y squared. Collect all your y's, so negative 24 and minus 24 is negative 48y. And then I got the 144. I also have that negative 36, so go ahead and move the 36 over. That becomes a positive 180 equals 0. Apparently my son is tired of watching PJ Masks. Let's see, 9. And all of this, again, is divisible by 3, so make life easier and divide everything by 3. So I've got 3y squared, 3 divided by 3, that's y squared. Negative 48 divided by 3, 48 divided by 3, that's 16, so negative 16y. 180 divided by 3, that would be 60, equals 0. Alright, and from here I'll just start again, like right there. And let's see this factor. Anything multiplied to 60 that adds up to 16. Yes! Negative 10 and negative 6 multiply to positive 60. So I'm just going to factor it. I've got x minus 10 and x minus 6 equals 0, because negative 6 times negative 10 is positive 60, and they add up to negative 16. And again, set them equal to 0, and you will get your solutions. X minus 10 equals 0, and x minus 6 equals 0. So x equals positive 10 and positive 6. And just like before, the last thing you need to do is plug everything in and solve for y. Actually, you know what the funny thing about this is I switched variables in the middle. So, let's fix this. Instead of an x, these are supposed to be y's. Because Mr. Hunter is a dingy. And if you picked up on that, good for you. I do that a lot. All my variables eventually become x if I'm not careful. And since I have this nice little equation over here that is laid out so nicely, just plug in a y and get an x, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my y values and plug them in for y right there. So, start with 10. So if y is 10, 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. 12 minus 20 is negative 8. So an x of negative 8 will yield a y of 10. If my y value is 6, negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. 12 minus 12 is 0. So an x value of 0 is 6. And those, again, are your solutions.